World Peace Award Festival recognized Cheryl Halpern from the USA as the Peacemaker of the Year 2018. The Secretary-General of the Yogyakarta Special Region presented the prestigious award on behalf of the Sultan Hamengkubowono X, the Sultan of the Yogyakarta Sultanate and Governor of the Yogyakarta Special Region. "I am humbled and overwhelmed to be the recipient of this award," said Mrs. Halpern, who has been producing and directing humanitarian films for many years.
I'm honored to receive the World Humanitarian Woman of the Year Award. A humanitarian is defined in English as a person who promotes human welfare and social reform, a person who works to make other people's lives better regardless of location. I'm honored to be so acknowledged by you. Who I am is largely a reflection of what I learned in the home in which I was brought up. I was born in New Haven, Connecticut, a small college town. My father was a congregational rabbi, and our home was open to people from all walks of life. My mother was equally involved in community service as a crisis counselor.
Her independent documentaries, Natsanat, WishMakers, Fighting to be Free, and Two Zions, The Living Legacy of the Queen of Sheba and King Solomon, have received numerous international awards and are included in library and museum collections. In addition to her being acknowledged as a humanitarian filmmaker, Mrs. Halpern was also recognized as the Peacemaker of the Year for the Visions of Peace Awards that she founded.
I am humbled and overwhelmed to be the recipient of the Peacemaker of the Year Award. Whatever one does during the course of a year, you never know how it's going to impact others. And to be acknowledged for engaging in an initiative that will please God, impact and encourage young people, the youth, the Pemuda of Indonesia and elsewhere, to be more tolerant, to give dignity and respect to one another, and to be acknowledged then as a visionary, as a peacemaker, is more than I could ever have expected. During the course of my professional life, I have been involved promoting better understanding between young people. They are the young, are the vanguard for the future development in every society. But they need to be encouraged, they need to be taught, and given opportunity to express themselves, particularly when they have their own concerns and their own issues. So along those lines, I came up with this notion to allow the young people here in Indonesia to express themselves through the arts, the entirety of the arts, be it painting, sculpture, but of course the film arts, which are so important to me, to express their vision for a peaceful tomorrow. What does it entail? How to achieve it? What is going through their creative minds? And I'm excited to receive the feedback from the Kingdom of Tallow, from Yogyakarta, from elsewhere. We will provide the opportunity here. So during this century, where we have so many changes that are occurring in society, You've got the digital and cyber changes. But unfortunately, we also have the violence, the disrespect, the intolerance, the injustice. And so young people have to be given the encouragement to express themselves, how they perceive the future, and how to create and help develop peaceful coexistence between one another. The golden rule of reciprocity: do unto others as you would want to have done to yourself. Let's give them a platform to express their thoughts on how to maintain and achieve this goal. I would like to add the vision of peace globally, because young people around the world are facing similar issues, whether it's bullying in their schools or the use of opioids, which is becoming so available to them. You have the emergence of organizations today that have political and religious ideologies that are recruiting young people to engage in violence, to engage in the wanton killing of innocents. We need to give young people an alternative. They need to be aware, they need to be educated that you need not engage in violence and disrespect. You need to engage with one another through proper dialogue, discourse. You can respectfully disagree, but you need to be able to be respectful of each other. And that's what a vision of a peaceful tomorrow will embrace: how to use the arts, how to use film to share your thoughts, share your perspectives. And so whether you're in New York City, or you're in London, England, or you're in Jerusalem, Israel, or Amman, Jordan, or Jakarta, Indonesia, it's the same profile that young people today have and need to share and engage with one another. Five years from now, it would be absolutely wonderful if the young people who are the recipients and acknowledged for participating in the initiative in year one would take the responsibility and assume the leadership for promoting and continuing the initiative in year 5 within their respective communities. If we can give them the impetus and the opportunity to become emerging leaders, then we've achieved a major goal. Each and every person, regardless of age or ethnicity, who wants to participate in a peacemaking agenda within their respective communities needs to be encouraged. And the message I would share with them is: take your vision, have faith in your own commitment to this cause, be respectful of one another, even with the individual who might disrespect or not share your vision. Like water on a rock, sometimes it takes repetition and repetition and repetition to make the impact on the other. But never lose faith in your own goal to achieve, to work, to create a peaceful environment. And it need not be difficult or complex. Sometimes peace between two neighbors can be achieved. It can be as simple as going to your neighbor with whom you might have a disagreement about, oh, how late the noise is going on in your home or how a dog is barking, and just walk over and say, hi, smile, engage, say, I understand you might be disappointed in what I'm doing, but let me tell you, I want to work with you so that we can be better neighbors. And that little initiative, that little taking of your time to tell another person, I care. I care about what you're thinking. I care about your sentiments. And I hope by discussing, you will care about me and you will care about my sentiments. And we'll be better neighbors. And you go down neighbor by neighbor, so you come together as a peaceful, respectful, dignified neighborhood. Take the time, make the initiative. I grew up in a home where my father is a congregational rabbi and my mother is a crisis counselor. So from my very young ages, my youth, I was exposed to a variety of societal issues that needed to be addressed. And my parents would always ask me, how would I answer a question? What might I do to respond? And when I was a teacher in a Sunday school at a synagogue, I'm teaching children who are 8-year-olds. And one Sunday, I come into the school, to my classroom, and everybody is crying. And I'm saying, why are you all in tears? And they said, one of the other students killed his father, took a hammer and aggressively engaged in violent activity. That moment in time, and I'm not a counselor, I'm just a Sunday school teacher, I was challenged. How do I work with these children who are feeling such pain? And I came up with the thought that the first thing they needed to do, I gave them construction paper. I said, paint, here are the crayons, here are the markers. Paint, create what you're feeling, the pain that you are now exposed to. And they did. And then the next thing I did with the class, I said, you can work with one another and create an image of a happier, more loving environment. Paint, create, share using the arts as your modality, as your medium, it enabled them to communicate in a way they could not do verbally. And I learned from that experience that by encouraging, here it was my 8-year-olds, to express their feelings, it allowed them to have a better understanding of what they were feeling and how they could move forward to achieve something more beneficial, more positive than what they had experienced when they heard this news about their friend.
As a personal response to her international recognition as a filmmaker, Cheryl Halpern founded, in 2017, the Vision of Peace Awards, a not-for-profit organization to encourage students to express their views about tolerance and respect through the arts. Mrs. Halpern explained, young people around the world are facing similar challenges, whether it is bullying in school, or the use of drugs, or the ideological recruitment to engage in violence, to name but a few. We need to give our youth an alternative. They need to be aware that they need not engage in violence and disrespect. They need to engage with one another and agree to respectfully disagree. They are the vanguard for the future, and they need to be encouraged to carry the standard for tolerance, respect, and peaceful coexistence. And this is what the Vision of Peace Awards is all about, to use the arts, especially films, through which to share the thoughts and perspectives of the younger generation. In Indonesia, the Visions of Peace Awards now represents an active partnership that Mrs. Halpern has created with the International Festival Group to acknowledge the presentation by young people of their visions of a peaceful tomorrow through the arts. The Vision of Peace Awards hopes to motivate Indonesian youth to hone their artistic talents, channel their ideas through the variety of art and film modalities, including smartphones, and share the culture and art of their Indonesia with respect for humanity and peace as the themes. Mrs. Halpern explained, I know of no other country with unity through diversity, Bhinneka Tunggal Ika as its national motto. In today's world marked by violence and disrespect for minorities, this Indonesian motto needs to be promoted. It is important to encourage the youth to embrace this motto and express themselves so that others will learn. Through their artistic expressions of a vision for a peaceful tomorrow, they can help themselves and their peers to develop a more tolerant state of mind. The Visions of Peace Awards has already been launched in 2 provinces, South Sulawesi and the Yogyakarta Special Region. Mrs. Halpern enthusiastically concluded, I am so looking forward to seeing the art projects and films that the young people will be submitting and to acknowledge their creative endeavors. I hope that they will continue to integrate the goals of this initiative into their daily lives as they mature.
I hope that everybody who participates, whether they are acknowledged as the most exceptional or they are not so acknowledged, but they take the time to participate and express themselves, I hope they're going to feel better about themselves, better about their community, better about the future, because only by so doing can we counter what they are seeing on the media, the social networking platforms, where you have an abundance of the negative. You have stories that evoke pain, indignity, intolerance, prejudice, abuse. Let's create a platform that promotes the positive, respect, dignity, civility, peace, and embrace it together.